Now, the last part of this is to actually go back to our worksheet, and you are going to see down here is our worksheet where you are going to click on a different spreadsheet and do all sorts of different compounds, okay, or different comparisons. The spreadsheet you were just working on will allow you to maybe do this first one, simple versus compound, but later on you'll want a different type of spreadsheet to do that. So if you click on, well, you won't have this link, I will just share it with you. You'll get a different spreadsheet. So this one is there's the simple versus compound interest, the same as the one that we just did. But this one along the bottom has different types of comparisons. So you could, if it asks you to compare different simple interests, I wonder which one would be better. So for example, here's one that's $500 for 3% over 20 years. Gets me 800. 450, which is less money, but a higher interest rate gets us more money. So the interest rate really has a big influence on that. If you want to compare compound, so this might be one of the ones that we had. So the first example is simple versus compound. So you'll want to go to S versus C and put in the values for that. Actually, let's see if I can just, there, I'll have them both on the same screen here. So simple versus compound, we probably just put the numbers in here. So this is 500 at 5%. So you change this to 5%. And then the number of years. I'm not going to do this for you, but you're going to check what, let's pretend it was 5% at 20 years. You're going to look at the bottom, the compound is 1,000. So you could actually go and type in 1,000 here. That's how much you make for 1,000. Simple interest. Compound interest, you make 1,326.65. So you can just handwrite that into your worksheet. Which one's better? Well, obviously the compound interest is better. And what's the difference? So you can subtract those, or I think it does the subtraction for you right here, $326.65. But of course, this is for 4 years. I've been doing it on 20 years, so you have to change that. Next, your last, the compound annually for 10 years. So that one, you're not comparing simple, you're comparing compound. You see this is compounded annually. So it's two different ones. So you have the same amount. So let's pretend I'm doing $500. This is not what's in yours is 7,250. But we're going to compare 3%. There's 3% and there's 5%. Oh, for 10 years. That's already set up for us. Good. So you see how at 3%, we're going to make $671. Of course, your number will be different because you're going to put in 7,250 versus 5% and see what the difference is. Finally, this last one, compounded annually, 4,000. So you want to change this to 4,000 at 7% for 10 years. And then I'll let you put in the 5,000 for 4% and see which one's better. So this is interesting because it's more money at a smaller interest rate. This is a bigger number at a bigger interest rate. So it'll be interesting to see which one's different. Then when you go down to the bottom, what you'll probably want to do for this one is it's changing the compounding period. So this one, you see the interest is compounded annually. So it's the same for both. If you go here, you can actually pick what type of compounding you have. So compounded annually means it'll happen once a year. Semi-annually means every half year or twice a year. Monthly, of course, is 12 times a year. Bi-weekly, well, let's first talk about weekly. Weekly is every week. There's 52 weeks in a year. So 52 times interest is calculated. Bi-weekly means every other week, so 2 weeks. That's often why people get paid every 2 weeks. So that's why that one's one. And then daily would be 365 times. Okay, the more it gets compounded, the better. So in this case, we're comparing 40,000. So again, I'm not going to do this entirely for you, but there's 40,000 at 3%. It says for 20 years. Now, the reason it doesn't have a whole thing here is because if you're doing 20 years compounded semi-annually, it does 40 different calculations. And the spreadsheet would I just didn't want to make it go too big that it would go down 40 times. Or if you did it like daily, this spreadsheet would go down 7,300 calculations. We don't want to do that. So this just shows you the final line, the very last line. So there it is, 20 years, twice a year for 20 years. And this 40,000 turns into 72,000. You're going to compare it to the same numbers. And again, I'm not going to fill it in here, but this one is going to be done monthly. And you're going to see which is better. Obviously, this is just a smaller amount. And then again, you might want to go here, 2005 or 25,000, put it in there, 2.9 over 4 years or 1.9 over 8 years. So that's an interesting situation. Less interest for longer, more interest for shorter. I wonder which is better there. And then this one, it would be 20 years compounded monthly. So again, you want to make sure both of these are same monthly for these last two. And then new interest rates, again, 5,000 at 6%, less money, more interest. More money, less interest. I wonder which one's better. And you'll have to do the subtraction. You have to use it on your calculator to do the difference on this, because this one doesn't show you the difference between the two. All right. So hopefully you now know that you can go off and do the different types of comparisons and complete your worksheet. And I wish you the best of luck.